first test in the semi-finals this year. 18 assembly seats in Chhattisgarh's worst affected, Maoist-hit area is going to polls today. In fact, polling is scheduled to begin any moment now. Polling, in fact, is being held in 12 seats in the Bastar region and 6 seats in the Rajnandgaon area. This mineral-rich area with dense forests and Maoist hideouts is infamously known as the Red Zone. A total of 143 candidates are in the fray, with 30 lakh voters deciding their fate. It's a virtual fortress in these districts with clear intelligence inputs that Maoists could disrupt polling. Unprecedented security measures have been taken to ensure that the process takes place smoothly. Nearly 1.25 lakh security personnel have been deployed and more than 1,300 booths have been classified as hypersensitive. Polling in the Bastar area closes at 3 this afternoon, much earlier than the normal time of 5 in the evening. In Rajnandgaon, polling closes at 4 p.m.
देखिए उनका काम ही है वायलेंस में दे बिलीव इन वायलेंस ओनली और उन लोगों ने बॉयकॉट का कॉल दिया हुआ है तो वो मीटिंगें करके कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि लोग चुनाव ना करें लेकिन गांववासी जो है पहले भी चुनाव में हिस्सा लेते रहे हैं और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है जिस प्रकार से पुलिस ने व्यवस्था की है प्रशासन की व्यवस्था है और चुनाव में लोग अधिक से अधिक लोग हिस्सा लेंगे।
जिस तरह की चैलेंज है यहाँ उसके हिसाब से फोर्सेस की इस बार तैनाती बहुत भारी संख्या में हुई है। यहाँ की जनता को हम आश्वस्त करते हैं कि जितना बल मिला है यहाँ पर उससे अपनी सुरक्षा करते हुए इस इलाके में एक सुरक्षा का भाव पैदा करने की पूरी कोशिश हुई है और डीप इंटीरियर एरियाज में भी फोर्स भेजा गया है। इसलिए मुझे उम्मीद है कि इस बार जनता बाहर निकलेगी। वैसे भी बस्तर का पोल हमेशा परसेंटेज के हिसाब से लोगों के पार्टिसिपेशन के हिसाब से हमेशा बहुत अच्छा रहा है।
My colleague Jugal Purohit is joining us this morning from Dantewada in Chhattisgarh, which goes to polls. Jugal, unprecedented security measures, this phase of polling, more has been talked about because of security arrangements that have been made rather than issues or candidates.
That's right, Ruchika. In fact, after a devastating terror attack to actually initiate the election proceedings, followed by months of training and intensive security operations, we are finally at this moment when the polls will begin. In fact, just behind me, if my camera person Prabir Biswas can just show you, the first voters have already begun casting their vote. So this historic election, which as I said was marred by a bloody attack in this very area not too far from where I am, and which actually invoked a tremendous amount of security response by the administration side, has begun. Now Ruchika, what I can tell you is that I just spoke a short while back to the Chief Electoral Officer of Chhattisgarh area in Raipur, and he's confirmed to us that all the polling parties have managed to safely reach their polling booths. There are in all 4,142 polling booths, and all of these parties, which was a big concern among the officials, because remember, many of them are traveling through areas which perhaps do not have roads. If they have roads, they are completely mined. If they are mined, and there is a tremendous amount of security covered in the area, but all of them have safely managed to reach their respective polling booths, and the polling will begin on schedule. It's a very, very big achievement. We've been here for the last 7 to 8 days, seeing the manner in which the election authorities are going about their task under intensive security cover, and it is in fact a big achievement. In fact, right now the polling has begun. Enthusiastic voters have already begun coming here, and Bastar area and Rajnandgaon, which in all have 8 districts between them, have generally had a very, very healthy voting trend. The last time, 2008 assembly elections, we had seen the average voting percentage was 64%, which is indeed a commendable task given the kind of security implications in the area. Except for Bijapur and Sukma, which had polling percentages of less than 40, all the other areas have actually responded very, very well. So in that sense, one hopes that this trend will continue. And with this kind of security which has been deployed, which is unprecedented even by the Bastar standards, there is a hope that it will reassure voters to come out and exercise their franchise. Ruchika?
Jugal, just stay on with us. For those of you who are just joining in, these are pictures on your screen from Jagdalpur in Chhattisgarh, where people are queuing up to exercise their franchise. Chhattisgarh goes to polls today, first phase of polling today in the state in the Naxal-infested area. Jugal Purohit live with us from Dantewada, which has been the site of a devastating a terror attack from the Naxals just months ago. Jugal, as you were mentioning, the Maoists have given a call to boycott these elections. But despite all of that, we are seeing early this morning, at 7 this morning, people queuing up in long lines to take part in the polling process to exercise their franchise.
Absolutely, Ruchika. In fact, as I was just saying that if one has to look at the last elections which took place at the assembly level, the kind of response that even an area like Dantewada had given in excess of around 65%, it only goes to show that there is a tremendous amount of will among people to exercise their franchise. And this time around, as I was saying, that given the kind of unprecedented security which has been provided, the kind of unprecedented levels that we are seeing of security forces personnel. Remember, there are 20 different forces operating under the Chhattisgarh police in this area right now. So it only gives you the kind of scale that that the center, the state, all the neighboring states have been able to pull in together towards ensuring that the voters feel secure enough. In fact, Chhattisgarh's Bastar area also borders with Odisha, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and all these states also have, in that sense, been put on high alert. They are, in fact, I was speaking to some of the officials in those areas. They're actually in those bordering districts having a feeling as if it is their own election time, and that's the kind of security that they are providing. So in all, there has been a tremendous effort, and as I said, if the past is anything to go by, one just hopes that the figures will rise further and more number of people can actually feel safe to come out and exercise their franchise. And remember, Ruchika, even as we now talk about the voters coming out, we must not forget the effort by the civilian government employees, the polling parties who have actually gone to interior areas, and they will be bringing democracy to those areas.
That's
and
right.
Subsequently, they will also have to de-inducted from those areas because, as I said, these are extremely sensitive areas. And just to give you an understanding of the kind of sensitivity, 14th of November is when the last polling party will be able to come out of these jungles. So it will perhaps for some of these polling parties take at least 2 days of walking to actually come out to an urban area. That is the kind of situation that we are witnessing right now, Ruchika.
Tremendous efforts there, not just by security personnel, but as you mentioned, by the civilian officials as well. Democracy really at the heart of this that we are seeing in this Maoist-infested area. People coming out in large numbers this morning, queuing up to exercise their vote. My colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu sent us this report from Jagdalpur, where polling is scheduled to begin shortly.
Crucial first phase elections in Chhattisgarh has begun. At least in 13 of the constituencies, the polling is beginning at 7 o'clock. But we are at Rajnandgaon, where the polling is going to begin at 8 o'clock. The security is obviously tight. We are at the polling station. People will start pouring in at 8 o'clock. But obviously, as far as state machinery is concerned, election commission officials are concerned, obviously there are preparations on, and you can see they're already out here. It's going to be an early start. The Naxal issue is going to be remaining a crucial one, and obviously we know that a couple of IDs were found. A lot of preparation has gone in as far as security is concerned. 1 lakh boots on the ground. UAV is being taken into consideration. So yes, security is an issue, and this is going to be crucial. But here in Rajnandgaon, it is going to be a fight between the Chief Minister Raman Singh as well as Alka Mudliar, who is the widow of Uday Mudliar, who got killed on the May 25th Ajiram Ghati attack. So yes, crucial elections on. It's going to be a tough challenge in terms of the Naxals. But at the moment, the state machinery, the election commission machinery is very much prepared for this entire challenge. With camera person Vinod Kumar, this is Kamaljeet Sandhu in Rajnandgaon, Fairlines Today.
Well, it's going to be a personal fight for Raman Singh, the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, who has a third term at stake. Of the 18 seats that are going to polls today, BJP currently holds 15 of them. A tally it needs to repeat if it wants to hold on to power in the state. In 2008, the party had won 11 of the 12 seats in Bastar region and 4 out of 6 seats in the Rajnandgaon area. The Congress, however, fights with a much depleted force, having lost most of its influential leaders to a Naxal attack in Darbar in June this year. It is Ajit Joki who's fronting the Congress for now.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत रिलैक्स होकर हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं। जनता के ऊपर भरोसा है और जनता का विश्वास यदि बीजेपी सरकार पे, डॉक्टर रमन पे है, तो मुझे लगता है यही विश्वास आने वाले 5 साल के लिए सरकार बनाने का अवसर देगी। हमारे पास 15 सीट थी और बस्तर के 12 और राजनांदगांव जिले की सीट को मिलाकर हम यदि कैलकुलेट करें 11 और 4 15, इस बार हम उम्मीद करते हैं सीटों में इजाफा होगा।
In fact, Raman Singh will have his fate sealed in the ballot box today. He's facing Alka Mudalar, who's the wife of slain Congress leader Uday Mudalar from Rajnandgaon seat. Apart from him, the fate of several ministers will also be sealed today, which includes Vikram Usendi, Lata Usendi, Kedarnath Kashyap and Bhima Pandava. So the battle for Bastar that has kicked off today. It's going to vote today in one of the highest security covers that we're seeing in the country. The region has seen the rise of the BJP. It's a personal fight for Raman Singh, whose fate is also going to be sealed today. Kamaljeet Sandhu, in fact, is now joining us from Rajnandgaon this morning. Kamal, we just read out the report that you sent of how the election machinery is geared up for the polling that's set to take place in Chhattisgarh. Just bring us up to speed with the kind of turnout that we're seeing this morning.
Well, Ruchika, I must tell you, the polling will begin at 8, except for in one constituency near Rajnandgaon, which is the Mandapur. This is the Naxal-affected areas. The rest of the polling will begin from 8 to 5 o'clock. So yes, as far as the state machinery is concerned, in terms of security, preparations on, the election commission officials were here early in the morning. In fact, if we can try and show you some of the visuals out here, this is the constituency where the Chief Minister Raman Singh really represents. Alka Mudalar will be taking him on here. It's going to be a tough fight as far as elections are concerned, but in terms of security, I must say the Naxal-affected areas, at least 13 of the constituencies are going to polls at 7 o'clock. For the rest of them, it is going to be from 8 to 5 o'clock. Crucial elections, the first phase of polls, this is going to be a deciding point. We know in the past two assembly elections, the BJP government has formed the government here, but this time there are new challenges. But if you're talking about issues, there are no major issues, even though the Darba Ghati or Jiram Ghati attack took place here. No major issue. We know that there is going to be a certain amount of caste politics, the candidate level of politics. This is something which is going to really be the topics in this particular election.